Episode 3, right?
Yeah, pod number 3.
Dude,
our pods are getting a lot of traction, to be honest. We've gotten 20-something views on the first one, and then like 18, 19. The retention rate on the second one was a lot higher. So the first one was like 4.5 minutes average.
Okay.
Then the second one was like 9. So
dang.
Someone
Not bad. I'll take that, honestly.
Spotify's also starting to give us analytics now. Originally, they didn't give us any because no one was watching. But now, Spotify's giving us analytics now.
Also, we're getting some Spotify.
Yeah.
Viewers, cool. Hey, whenever you guys watch. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. We're here for the fans because when it comes down to it, it's what the fans want. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. For this pod, I guess we can either start out with some interesting news. I got a lot of space news that's happened. Some happened.
Seems like you got a lot of things you wanna talk about. I didn't come in here with anything.
Hey, I can lead the way. I don't mind.
I wanted you to so badly.
So we can both use our opinions. So we can start off with rather sad news, or we can start off with kind of mindfuckery news, whichever one we want to do.
Hit them with the sad stuff. We got to get them emotionally invested right off the bat.
Okay, so we are recording this as of now, September 13th. As Americans, September 11th. Recently, I was 11 months old when it happened, so I'm not going to sit here and say you weren't even born yet.
I was -5 days old.
So I'm not going to sit here and say that I knew exactly what happened when I was 11 months old. Not even 11 months old yet. So that was, yeah. But also, Morocco and Libya both have lost thousands of people as well.
Whoa, what happened in Morocco?
So Morocco had the largest earthquake in their history with 6.87. It was something like that. And it's taken lives of thousands of people. And
that's huge.
There was a storm. I want to say it was a tropical storm, but don't quote me on it. That in Libya, hit Libya. Obviously, these two countries are not the most wealthy countries, so they don't have a lot of foundational...
They got no money.
They lost over 5,000 recently because there was a tropical storm, knocked down 2 dams, causing massive floods and wiping away practically like half the country. So,
that's unfortunate. Yeah. But no, we need to keep giving money to Ukraine, right? Like, fuck all those fuck Morocco, right?
Yeah, and Libya, and obviously us. So for everyone that has been
Hawaii, okay.
So everyone who's being affected still.
Right.
We also send our condolences to all of the countries affected. Obviously, the only one that affects us the most, even though we weren't even, I practically wasn't even alive yet. It changed America forever. Not just America, changed the world forever. TSA government started cracking down a lot more on your privacy and all that, making sure you're not saying I'm going to drop a nuke somewhere or anything like that.
They took advantage of that. You know what I'm saying?
Beforehand, you had your DP Coopers saying I have a bomb, but they didn't search through you a lot as they do now. Now they're a lot stricter what you allow on a plane.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. The whole crackdown on TSA and shit is good. Although TSA in reality isn't that great at.
No, they're not
cracking down on much.
No.
But to their defense, they're not sitting there they can't get everybody. You know what I'm saying?
No, 100%. Can't get everybody.
They're really just looking for people with bombs and large amounts of drugs, and even then, it's are you really smuggling drugs commercially?
No.
Are you really about to hit United flight whatever on a Tuesday morning with pounds of narcotics? I just don't think so, but yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and start off with that. Now we can get into some interesting news. I know it's probably hard to bounce back with the sad news, but sometimes you gotta start off with that. You gotta support, of course.
Might as well start with it and then have everything just get a little bit better.
Yeah, well, this is just a lot of space stuff is what I have today. We'll start off with probably the biggest news, the one that's going to probably impact us the most. is NASA. You know NASA, lots of
Going
smart
on with them
people in NASA.
I've heard there's smart people there.
They have a device. Sorry, I'm looking at my phone while I look at this because I have it on an Instagram page.
What device?
Called the Moxie. Now, what this device does, and what they have managed to successfully do, so this is not like a trial, successfully have managed to generate oxygen on Mars.
Whoa. Okay.
They were able to generate 122 grams of oxygen, which equates to around how much a dog breathes within 10 hours. So
Okay, so for my dumb brain, when you say generate oxygen, are they pumping oxygen into the atmosphere, or are they like able to like?
So they have managed to use that. It looks like here that they have, so they convert, because there's a lot of carbon dioxide on Mars, so they're able to, this machine is able to make carbon dioxide goes through it, so it's kind of like a water tap, like a filter kind of thing, able to change all the carbon dioxide into oxygen.
So okay. So they're basically able to do like the fucking photosynthesis.
Yeah, they are. So they were hoping to just get 12 grams. And they've managed to get 122. Yeah. So it has completely exceeded expectations. Yeah. However, while doing this, now we get to talk about some mindfuckery that I don't think a lot of people realize with this. Because, first of all, we need to talk about, because there's something else that's coming up that has to do with light years, and that's a whole different story. But, of course, of how fast the speed of light travels. Right, we need it. So first off, to even get to Mars, because we've been trying to put people on Mars for a long time.
Right.
Probably at
How long does it actually take to get to Mars?
See, that's the thing, because I'm pretty sure I don't want to spread fake news around here.
Isn't it like years?
It is. How long to?
Like a lot of years.
Yeah, it is. So it takes. Oh, okay. It takes 7 months. 7 months. So
we're
14
way
months.
Off. My honest guess, and I'm gonna call myself out here because I was so bad. I was gonna say like 30 years.
30 years? No. It takes around 14 months. So like back and forth. So like a year and a half ish.
Dude, can you fucking imagine how fucking crazy it would be if you are traveling to another planet in fucking space?
Dude, space is a mind fucking all just in its own. To be honest, but I don't think a lot of people realize that like 7 months. You are in 7 months in a ship.
That's a long time.
You're spending 7 months, and also the thing is too, because obviously the fastest thing ever known to man is the speed of light. So that's how we travel everything. So that's like a light year, right? That's how far light can travel. This is gonna probably fuck a lot of people's minds because I know a lot of people are like, oh yeah, light year. Like they see this news like, oh, they found something like 10 light years away. But I don't think a lot of people realize how long a light year is. Do you know how long a light year is in miles and or time?
Not miles. But I remember somebody saying that when we get light, like when we intercept like light coming from like space. That like say we're that many light years away. That's how many like years it's been since.
Yeah.
We're seeing what it looked like that many years ago.
Yeah, dude.
Bro, is it not fucking crazy, dude?
So a light year. I recently found this out because I wanted to get my fact straight before this. But however, back to Mars real fast because obviously Mars is not light years away. Our closest star, however, is like 4 light years away. Yeah, something crazy like that.
Besides the sun?
Besides the sun. So like just like your like whatever you look up in the naked eye, which by the way is only like not even 1% of all the stars in the Milky Way. Mind blowing. Right. We're only going to see a select few from the naked eye. That's all you're ever going to see. There's going to be stars we're never even going to be able to see in our lifetime.
Did you get a chance to see the Starlink satellites link up?
I did not.
Dude, it was the sickest thing I've ever seen in my life.
What?
I was going down the interstate on like going home.
Yeah.
And all you see is this vertical, straight up of just these lights up in the fucking atmosphere, and apparently it was the new Starlink satellites that they had launched. It was pretty cool to see.
Wow. Well, I didn't even get to see that. Kind of sad now. Well, okay. Well, hey, the more you learn, I guess.
If it makes you feel any better, most of the time, if you look up and you can see what appears to be a star, but it is glowing, that there's a good chance that it could be a Starlink satellite. So
there you go. Hey.
You still have a chance.
There you go. Anyways, so Mars, right? So due to how fast the speed of light travels, for us to get immediate, let's say they're having, we need direct communication with them. Direct.
Mm-hmm.
It will take.
Yeah.
Now I know a lot of people are like, that's not that long, but in a state of crisis, it could be. It takes up to 15 minutes to send one message. So we send them hello. They receive that message 15 minutes later. So there is no direct communication.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All. So obviously, whenever we say hi, it will take 15 minutes for them to respond back. So 30 minutes. So if there's like any kind of crisis,
and that's if everything goes smooth.
Oh yeah, I mean obviously you're gonna hit. The first ever message is not gonna take 50. That's like we're talking good day, like your maximum. It's probably gonna take longer than that whenever we get people on Mars, which is crazy to even think about.
Is that almost like just in theory too? Like,
yeah, in theory.
To say that space is not gonna just say fuck you, I'm not letting that shit come through here.
It's scary to think about.
Yeah, could you imagine that shit? Just like being in space, just in this cylinder tube that's just going at like
darkness.
1,000 miles, however fast it goes. If it goes hundreds of miles an hour, like you're just fucking moving through space, and then you land on Mars. And then your job is to be like the first early settlers to like get all the shit ready for everybody else to start coming.
I'm assuming they're gonna bring, whenever they decide to do it, probably crates with like crops to see what crops are even able to be sustained, is my guess. I don't really know what they're gonna do with that. I mean, obviously they're gonna try.
I saw an interesting a theory. I forget who it was. I'm pretty bad at that. I'm pretty good at hearing things and then forgetting who said them.
Yeah.
But it was a theory that I think it was Mars. It may have been another planet. But that maybe it at one point in time was habitable like Earth in a sense, but it got destroyed in like a planetary war. If that makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was I want to say it was almost like a theory of like, could it have been like taken over by fucking aliens or something.
Speaking of aliens, we'll be getting those or later on. So, because we did have our first UFO talk in America, but today Mexico had their first alien talk.
I watched.
If it's capped or not.
If you want a good breakdown of that hearing that we had, listen to George Knapp on Joe Rogan. Because he's a ufologist and he studies the hell out of this shit. And my first initial thought was, this is totally bullshit. When I saw these hearings and they're just like feeding into like what the people want to hear, and I was like, what scandal are they hiding right now? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when some bullshit pops up, like some dumb shit, you're like, what the fuck is really going on? But the way he talked about it, it seemed as if it was pretty legit. He kind of defended the guy who was on, not trial, but he was testifying as a whistleblower or whatever. You know, like where you can't get. I want to say if you're a whistleblower, you can basically get protected custody and then only speak on the things that you're cleared to speak on.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, he's not really cleared on much of anything to say in public, but from what I understand, you may be able to be behind closed doors with members of Congress. But even then, there was like things that he just isn't like cleared to talk about by his branch of the government that he worked under, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I mean, you take an oath or whatever, like you can't say all.
I mean, because he was very vague about everything that he spoke about.
He's probably under oath, where he's like, I can't talk about this, or I will literally.
He was
die.
like, I literally, yeah. He's like, I'll get. I mean, he'll get thrown in prison, and then it's like, what good does that do? Like, this dude probably doesn't even like. He'll say some shit like, oh yeah, these things are fucking real. They're hiding them from you, and then boom, he's thrown in jail, and all we hear is they're real, and then they call him crazy for the next 10 years, and then everybody wonders, did it really happen? I'm just wondering is how can our government keep secret that we have recovered craft and life form that is non-planetary and then work on it for like the last however many decades and nobody find out about it. I just don't know how that can happen.
I feel like I don't know. Yeah, or at least someone like seeing something. Like
right. Have you ever heard of Commander David Fravor?
I have not.
Oh, I'm so happy I can tell you this story. This is what I believe was in 2004. He was a Navy pilot. I may miss some terminology here if I don't understand it, but I'm just going to do my best. And they were off the coast of, I forget what coast of the United States they were off of, but they were doing I mean, for the most part, if you're on aircraft carriers off the coast of the United States, you're working on, like, you're doing test flights and training all the time, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they regularly would encounter what he would describe as not spheres but cubes with like a circular hue outline around him, almost as if it was in like this field, like this force field almost, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And he had a notable story of when he was out with, I want to say, 2 other pilots. It may be one other pilot, but they both have wingmen or whatever, or the people that sit behind them. And they described what was this white Tic Tac. I'm sure you've seen a mint Tic Tac. It's white.
Yeah. 100%.
A Tic Tac at the ocean, at the surface of the ocean, and it was moving. And it wasn't moving through what appeared to be propulsion. It appeared to be like it was moving through, like, I don't know what he said, but it was like it moved. Imagine it was here, and then it's boom, right here, boom.
Okay. Oh,
boom
like
here,
instant.
boom here,
Okay,
boom here.
Yeah, like
yeah, it was almost like this thing would just pop, 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 and it was moving in this pattern. I want to say it may have been a square, but this specific pattern that he could note out, that it was hovering above this water, and the water was super white and foamy and bubbly, as if something was underneath it. You know what I'm saying? Like when like a whale surfaces or something, it gets really white and foamy and bubbly or whatever, and it was doing that. So it was almost like something was under the water, and this thing was boom, 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 boom. And then he said, before you even know it, boom, this thing shoots off, and it's gone before you can even think of it moving. And it says that they continue their training, they continue to go to their point that was assigned to them, and this thing is there.
Oh, okay.
It's where they were designated to go at the end of their training.
Oh.
And I don't remember what happened after that when they encountered it the second time, but when they went back, heading back towards their carrier, the same water that was once foamy and crazy looking was just blue and calm.
Wow.
And apparently they caught these things all the time. Maybe not the Tic Tac, but the cubes. And maybe I might be wrong, because maybe not. I believe David Fravor was the one that actually has radar imaging, and maybe sonar imaging, or maybe no, it's radar. Sonar's in the water. Radar imaging, or it was some kind of thing where you could like see the sky, but you couldn't really see the sky because it's pitch black outside. But you can like see where the radar is picking up on this thing that they see is flying across their screen. They cannot tell what it is, but they see it on radar, and they finally lock onto this thing, and this thing goes from like, I want to say like a couple thousand feet above sea level to like 30,000 feet within a second.
Wow.
and they,
That's
yeah, I'm sure like there's people that could come up with some sort of conclusion as to why that like could have been the way it was. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like,
yeah.
from what I understand is like these things got reported like all the time, and it got to where basically like you didn't want to report it because these people just weren't taking it serious, if that makes
I
sense.
feel like that's what's gonna. Yeah, that's definitely what I feel like would have happened. That they're just gonna.
And from their perspective, apparently their higher ups basically were like, yeah, these things are out here. We just have to deal with them.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, just let that. Yeah, just let it happen.
But
I don't know. Very interesting.
what do you believe at the end of the day? Because at the end of the day, there's no fucking aliens. They're not here.
You know, I have a question for you.
What's up?
That's been making me think. So
Yeah.
would you rather? Let me try to like word this correctly.
Yeah.
So would you rather? So like, do you think it would be scarier knowing that there's aliens, or that we're just alone, and there's just nothing else out there? It's just us.
That is a tough question.
I honestly have my answer, and I feel like it's just being us. It's just.
So which one do you think was scarier?
Like knowing that there's aliens, or us just being just alone, in entire space. It's just us.
Yeah.
I would
say my base answer would be alone. But I guess there's factors to where like if we know we're not the only ones out there and there are like actual life forms that can get access to us that are that are off the planet, that are live on another planet.
Yeah.
They can get to us, and we ain't got a fucking clue how to get to them. So, it all depends on if these motherfuckers actually want to kill us or
like,
not.
Yeah, like peace, or because I mean, also like
Right.
people always come to aliens, but like also we're talking just like any kind of like small, just molecules, just something that's living would be
Right. Yeah,
just,
that
like,
is so crazy too. It's like you see these.
We go straight to aliens, like they're talking.
Yeah,
And everything.
like these scientists get like core samples from like planets or something, or like they send their little probes or whatever to other planets, or they like study the galaxy and they find these planets that like can kind of resemble Earth. And then you look at it and it's like, oh, this thing's literally just solid ice.
Yeah. Even
It's
like
sad. It's like this whole planet is solid ice, and it's the closest thing we can find to Earth or Mars, which is basically just desert.
They have found there's been frozen like water found on Mars.
Yes,
and
yes,
they're hoping that, or just maybe thinking that there could be like a fossil, because even just finding a fossil is huge, because knowing that there was at some point in time life, even if it's just like a molecule or like bacteria or a fish or anything like that. Because I mean, also we don't even know how we were even created. Like we could name factors, but at the end of the day, we don't even know. Well, first off, the percentages of this even happening, we don't even know.
Yeah.
Of course, on science, like religious beliefs and all that as well. But just on the science side of things, don't want to get too controversial. We don't even know.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, there's no point
like,
going down that
yeah, I mean,
road.
like oxygen obviously probably has to be a factor, water, all that. But at the end of the day, what's the percentages that are even happening? This is probably.
I guess it all comes down to the atmosphere too. It's like if you think about how rare it is. Like I guess we could be coming across this in the wrong way, whereas like we're believing that for there to be life, it has to be like the same atmospheric whatever's levels as Earth.
Like it's.
I guess like we think it's gonna be humans that are also out there. Like it could be something totally different.
Like we have no clue. Like we really
Yeah.
don't. I feel like it'd be. I don't know. I mean, it's just really crazy to think about as well. Because I mean, percentages of us even being here right now is like 1 in. I couldn't even tell you. It's probably in the billions. Probably you could even argue in the trillions. And also, we don't even know if we're in the beginning. Another mindfuck here is like we don't even know if we're in the beginning of the universe. Like if we're the first people, if we're mid, or just halfway, or we're at the end. How
Right.
scary would that be? That we're at
Yeah.
the end of the universe. Everything has already died, and it's just us. Like, we don't know. I mean, we don't know. I don't know. I don't know if we're in the beginning. I don't know if we're in the middle. We roughly know how old the universe is, but we don't know if we're like the first people ever to have our kind of like who we are as a species. Like, it's weird to.
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
know. It's a
I get what
mindfuck.
you're saying. I get what you're saying. It's such a mindfuck too, dude.
It really is. It's scary.
You know what's even? You know how what makes it even more of a mindfuck is when you're high. You just fucking like it's just like incomprehensible.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. I don't. I mean, all of a sudden, have you realized too that there's like all these like first America had their talks about the UFOs. Today, Mexico, they literally had an alien corpse mummified in Mexico. Like, it's crazy now. All of a sudden, that you're getting these hearings.
Yeah, it's really weird.
All of a sudden, though, all of a sudden, there's just like these hearings about. Are they hiding something? Is there something that's about to happen? Are we about to get nuked?
Yeah.
Like, it's weird that all of a sudden these are just now. I don't know. I just found that very weird.
I don't know. There is a very fascinating story, and I forget what part of South America. I believe it is South America, but there was a crashed, what is documented to be a crashed saucer that crashed outside of a school, and there was from witness account, a man climbed out a thing climbed out that is what is described as, I believe, a short gray figure with the eye slits and features or whatever, and it got rushed to the hospital supposedly. And the guy who handled it, or I think when he did handle it to try and help it, from what I understand the story goes, he got a very severe bacteria infection that nobody could figure out what it was, and it killed him within hours.
Because obviously his DNA is probably something.
And they had these kids interview and describe what they saw, and it was to a T what everybody saw was the same as what everybody said they saw.
That's so weird. Because usually there's like
and some of these kids were like breaking down and crying, thinking about these things that they saw. And there's record of the United States military touching down in that area and collecting whatever this was and leaving.
See, that's oh man, like that's scary.
There's flight logs, like there's flight documentation of the flights.
I wonder if like the bacteria, because obviously we breathe oxygen because that's how we function. Let's say in theory, the bacterial infection was that maybe they didn't breathe oxygen. Maybe that's how they were adapted. That maybe oxygen ended up just. I mean, like it's like taking fish out of water, drowning us.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, what if like they like however it was born. Because obviously, I mean, this is just one of ours. Like, obviously, we think we need oxygen and all that, but who doesn't say that whatever he came from? If this is all real, obviously, because I mean, in theory, this is all in theory. Like, what if he breathes like carbon dioxide? He doesn't breathe oxygen, so like oxygen ended up just.
Or what if he breathes
just something else? Whatever he came from.
Something, or I don't know. Yeah, you're right.
Because they couldn't study the DNA, because obviously it's going to be completely something that we've never even seen before. So that's why they're like, oh shit, we don't know what to do to survive. Because obviously we know how to protect us, but we don't know how to protect you. Because we know our anatomy. We don't know yours. We don't know what we're poking at.
Right.
So it's weird to.
Bob Lazard probably has the wildest story. If you've ever heard his story.
I have not.
He worked at Los Alamos Labs, from what I understand. Back in, I want to say, it was in the 1900s. I want to say it was the 60s. I could be wrong, but it was very weird because his story is he would go in and he would work on these I forget the way they described it, but like things that operated through gravitational force. Like it was able to harness gravity for energy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And their job was to basically back engineer these things, supposedly from what he says. And he says while he was there, he encountered craft that looked to be made of one piece. Like you could, like, everything we have is like everything we build out of metal. Like any plane, you can see where things are welded and bolted, and multiple pieces go in to make one thing. Well, this was like it was only made of one thing. It felt like you couldn't find any sort of like multiple material, anything. And so the material was like anything he had ever seen before. Like it didn't feel like, I forget exactly what he said, but also he said there was like a cockpit, but it was like for somebody who was like less than 3 feet tall.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he didn't really get to work on these things very much. But also, it was, from what his word was, there was he's basically saying like the reason these people, like the government, could never get any conclusive back engineering data was because the scientists that were there to work on it, basically, unless you were in, like, say they were doing propulsion studies on this thing, and then somebody else was doing like harness studies, like somebody else was doing some other bullshit, they were never allowed to communicate with each other. So you can imagine how confusing it would be when you need data from every single factor, but you can only get yours. And he said the guy that he had been there with, working with them, had been there for like another 10 years before him, and he's like, yeah, man, like we can't get anywhere because nobody's letting us communicate, because I guess it's so top secret that you just can't give everybody access to everything.
Because all it takes is one word. It just takes one mouth just to...
And what's even crazier is the government tried to wipe all of his records that showed that he worked there.
Weird.
You can't find his records. You have to go on his website where he has them publicly documented on his site.
So
because the government...
erase them.
They tried to erase him, dude.
Way try to erase him. Because obviously it's going to start raising eyebrows if you have this top.
What's even crazier is whenever he published his book, I think it was a book, and I want to say the 90s, where he was talking about this element 113 that had not ever been discovered yet, but he was openly talking about how they have this material. I want to say it was used as a detection device. Like, I believe it could scan your bones.
Oh.
It could help scan bones and like for like injury, I believe, or something. It could scan your bone. I believe that was what the element aided in, and he was talking about this openly, and it was not a public scientific fact.
Discovery.
And then it came out years later that this element exists, and he's like,
I tried to tell y'all. I tried.
It's just too eerie how consistent his testimony is when he does interviews. He's not done interviews in a long, long time.
Bro, he's probably scared to be seen in the public.
He has one on Joe Rogan. Yeah, he basically had to be begged to go on there because he was.
Oh yeah.
I also don't think he also doesn't look for the attention.
No.
He's not out there every single day talking to people about his story. Like,
so that could also push this all being like more truthful than anything, because obviously if it's fake, they're gonna obviously just go around being like, so and so.
Right.
But if he's just like he knows he's right, so he's not gonna go around bragging about it.
He had his phones tapped, and they knew in his own home, and they knew that his wife was having an affair, but they couldn't tell him because they didn't want to jeopardize his position or his mental state at the position he had.
Yeah. Wow.
So they had all the data on his phones in his home, and he could never tell his wife anything that he did. They would come and get him at 10 o'clock at night and take him to the facilities, and they would watch these craft from a distance levitate, like basically hover, while they tried to maneuver them and then he brought his friends out there after he left the facility for like a year, and they would watch these craft move around in the skies. And then they got caught and they got arrested for it.
Well, of course, yeah,
For trespassing and all that shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say trespassing. They're gonna actually show their say their
yeah, dude.
Why.
It's
always
crazy.
trespassing. I've realized it's always trespassing.
Yeah,
like,
always
it's weird.
is.
Like it's always consistent with trespass or something under those lines. It's so weird. I don't even know what we were even talking about, to be honest.
Aliens, bro.
Aliens.
Have you ever had an encounter in your life that you can't come to a conclusion of what happened to you?
Unfortunately, I don't.
I know. I don't think I have any either, dude.
I always do feel like, though, it's weird how, like, kind of steering away from that, but it's weird that, like, as humans, you can sense if someone's looking at you. You know how you just get that feeling?
Yes.
You're just like, someone is looking at me, and you look around, and you're like, no one's looking at me, but you get that sensation, like you have that.
That paranoia.
That like someone's looking at you, or something.
Yeah, you get that like instinct or like the paranoia. Yeah.
Or like you'll hear like footsteps behind you.
I'm sure that's gotta be. I'm sure that's gotta be from like early ancestral.
Oh yeah, from like
primal
hunting.
natures and shit. Cause yeah, it's like if your guard's not up 24/7, like 10,000 years ago, like you're fucking getting eaten by a tiger in some parts of the world.
Oh, you're getting jumped by like different tribes.
Yeah, you gotta be careful.
So that's probably where we get that from. Because I know there's some things that we don't, like our bodies have genetically just gotten better. I know there's a muscle in if you do like your thumb and your pinky, that muscle that pokes out. I don't know what you call that. I don't have that.
You don't have it? So are you like genetically inferior?
I'm missing half my hand, so, but I don't have it.
I may not have it either because I'm not seeing anything.
But on my left hand, I do have it. On my left arm, I have it right here. But on my right, I don't. I just don't have it.
What are you doing? Like, I don't know what you're doing to like.
So if you do just touch your thumb and your pinky, and there's supposed to be a muscle or a bone, and it was something to do with like a better grip or something like that. But we have genetically. Some people still have it. Some people are still.
Do I have it?
I can't tell from the camera, to be honest. But they're supposed to just be like
the middle. I can't tell, and I'm looking at it with my real. You can train basically any form of fitness that you want, and if you don't eat right, you'll never put on muscle. So you can train 5 days a week, 2 rest days, and eat like shit, and then train like super high intensity, like with like high, or maybe do high reps, lower weight. It doesn't matter. You can do heavy weight, low reps. It don't matter if your diet's shit. So I think people need to eat according to what their body needs and then train however they want. But I also think you need to train strength training. Well, I guess technically, okay, wow, I've literally like confused myself on what I really think.
I also sent you the image too of what I'm talking about.
On Discord?
Yeah. So that's the muscle you're looking for whenever you do it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have that. I think that's a tendon.
Yeah, I don't have it. Weird.
Oh.
Just wasn't born with it. Yeah. On this arm I do, but on my right I don't have it.
Oh.
It's just not there. So yeah.
It looks like it's a ligament or something.
Yeah, it was something to do with like, because also goosebumps as well. Those just aren't. They don't have a use anymore. Goosebumps were supposed to keep your body warm during cold temperatures. But now we have modified where we just don't need goosebumps anymore. It's weird. Like they don't serve a function.
Right. Yeah, that one's weird.
It just doesn't serve a function for us anymore. But back in the day, whenever, because I mean we're so used to like lighting out and heaters and all that. But back then, that's how you kept your body warm. Is that you had goosebumps.
Yeah, back then you had to make a fire.
Yeah, no, I could even
huddle around the fire as a village.
It's weird though. There's something else as well that I think I don't remember. There might be there's definitely a few more that I'm missing. But I don't remember them off the top of my head. So I'm not going to try to spread because I don't remember. I'm not going to talk about something I don't know enough about. But anyways, moving on to talking about, because I know I mentioned light years earlier. So I asked you how long, and so your mind is you're about to. This is going to show how inferior we are as people and as humans, and as how insignificant we are on Earth compared to everything else. So 1 light year. So the universe. I don't even know how long the universe is, and I don't even want to Google it. It's better off if I know. So in miles, it's 6.8 trillion miles. That's one. It's 1 light year.
Wow, that's like not even comprehensible.
It would take 33,000 years to travel 1 light year.
Dude, I can't even like picture that in my head.
The closest star is like 3, other than the sun. Yeah, couldn't even. That's 90,000 some years off the top of my head. Yeah, crazy stuff. So
pretty wild.
So whenever you see whenever we look at a planet, we're looking at it 100,000 years ago. So it could be so much more advanced now.
That's
obviously
fucking crazy to me when people try to like explain that. I'm just like,
you can't. Your brain, you just can't process that. It's like death. Like you try to think of death.
You're telling me we have imagery of this planet, but
it was 100,000 years ago.
100,000 years ago.
Because obviously the speed of light hasn't reached it yet to our and there's nothing faster. That's the scary part. We don't know if there's. I don't think. I mean, speed of sound, but that's not.
Andrew Schultz had a weird little. Well, I don't even think it was weird. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was actually a really cool way of thinking of it. But he thought, what if we harnessed? What if we wanted to travel at the speed of light? The way to do that is what if we came up with some net that could harness and catch light rays.
Wow.
And then convert that into like almost like a sail. And I know that doesn't make a ton of sense because like there's no sail that could harness light, but
yeah,
if there were to be, it's like will we ever be there? I'm sure if we ever get there, we're gonna be long gone.
Oh, in our lifetime, Earth would in itself is probably gonna be long gone. Let's just be honest here.
Yeah, which is
crazy to think about. That at some point in time, they're gonna have to just jump the ship on Earth because the sun's slowly expanding.
Yes.
To the point
like
where
what, like
Earth,
a couple of.
Like Earth scientifically just won't be here anymore because it's gonna catch on fire because of how fast the sun. Like it's just gonna get eaten up by the sun.
Right.
So
it's
they're
like
going to have to jump ship. We're going to be
estimated like a couple of billion years before the sun
I want to say it's
becomes a gas giant.
Yeah, I want to say it's million.
Millions?
Granted, none of us, whoever's listening to this now, would not be alive. So
one thing that kind of freaked me out was the AI robots at that Rams game.
I've seen those. Those were weird.
That was very eerie feeling to me.
AI is crazy. It's getting stronger too, which is scary because it's scary. AI in itself is just scary, though, to be honest. It's terrifying. But anyways, the reason why I wanted to mention light years is because we found another planet, an exoplanet.
Mm-hmm.
I had to Google what an exoplanet meant, by the way.
I don't know what that means.
It's just a planet that travels around a star. So like Earth is an exoplanet.
Oh.
So whenever you see like someone talking about an exoplanet, that's all it is. I thought it was like some kind of weird fancy like I don't know.
Nope.
I don't really know what I thought, to be
Super
honest.
basic.
Yeah. It's just
super basic.
But this planet's name, of course, the classic names of TOI 733b because might as well, right? But this is only one of like 5 planets they've found. Granted, it is 245 light years away.
Well.
So, but it's weird because this planet is twice the size of Earth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's covered by ocean. The whole thing is covered just by water.
Whoa.
Just ocean. That's all it is.
That is so
Which is
tricky.
weird because if we're looking at it that far ago, I mean, I wonder what it looks like now. If it was, I mean, that's a planet that I feel like, out of any of the planets we've seen, I feel like this one could potentially.
That'd suck if that bitch was still ocean.
It's, I mean, it could still be
Could
ocean.
you imagine what would be more scary than you getting dropped onto a planet that was literally just ocean? Like no life, no nothing. No
Oh my god.
animal, no sea creatures, no vegetation, no nothing. Just blank fucking water.
That's terrifying.
That'd be more terrifying. I'd rather be in the ocean where I know I can just get eaten and put out of my misery.
I mean, who knows what's on
Right.
that? Twice size, dude. This might be like Megalodon times like 5.
Could you imagine there's a fucking like 80-foot, like, just massive, great, a whole planet full of ocean, dude. There's probably like Godzilla-sized things floating in there.
There was something else that I also wanted to mention as well. However, I'm gonna have to find. Oh, also speaking of which, this is not space related. iPhone launched, or Apple launched iPhone 15.
I did see that. Yeah.
So there's that. Apparently, it's actually, from what people are saying, it's actually the first one in the first few that have actually. There's like a noticeable difference. So that's cool.
Okay.
Probably won't be getting it though, but.
I noticed a big difference in my 11 versus my what I have now is a 13, I think. Just in the processor, like I could feel everything moves way smoother. But I really want a Google Pixel.
Google Pixel. I've seen Google Pixels.
I would not get rid of my iPhone for one though. I would want to do 2 phones.
Okay, I could see that for
Because
sure.
from what I understand is the camera on the Pixel, or maybe it's the Samsung, is really the phone that takes the best camera pictures. But then the iPhone's video, I'll give it to them. The iPhone video quality is impeccable.
I think also the reason why people love iPhone so much is because they're very user friendly. Like, it's not over. I know a lot of people on Android have like, oh, well, it's missing these features, but like, I think
You
that's
don't
what
need
makes,
those features.
like,
You don't
it
need
just
them.
makes
Yeah.
it more complicated to handle. That's why Apple's so successful, because it's super. You could teach someone that's older, never touched one in their lives, more of a chance of them understanding an iPhone than an Android, because they're extremely
1000%.
user friendly.
Yeah. I don't think I would ever get a Samsung, but I think I would get a Google Pixel because they seem like a pretty dope phone for the most part. But I would never get rid of I don't think I'll ever get rid of my iPhone just because of how integrated I am with the interface.
Yeah, like I'm just so like.
Yeah, sometimes I look at Androids and I'm like, here's the difference I think I have with Android and iPhone. I think here's where iPhone kind of takes the cake. Is you could give somebody someone that has an Android and iPhone and they would know how to use the iPhone easy, like the back of their hand almost. But if you give somebody an Android that has an iPhone, they have no fucking clue how to open the phone.
I will give it those.
They don't even know how to get into the phone.
Oh, I can't even tell you. I mean, I probably could if you gave me a second, but what I was gonna say though, the thing I will admit though that Android is a lot more. Like, you can do stuff you can use compatibility and like get stuff all like an Android to Apple, but you can't do Apple to Android, like Apple to Microsoft, because Apple has it's enclosed into its own little like different programming.
The crazy thing with Apple is that iMessage is wild.
Yeah,
because it's just for Apple. Like they'll never, like you can't send. I remember when our friend Jonathan would send us videos on his Samsung, like the video quality would actually be pretty good for him,
emojis,
but
though.
that to send it they lower the video quality.
Yeah.
Regardless, like if you're on an Apple or on an iPhone and you send an Android a video, it's gonna be bad quality regardless of what you filmed it in.
Crazy to.
And those bitch ass green text messages, they can fuck off with that shit.
Oh yeah, I hate those. I've had to send some of those in my time though. Whenever like power's out or
Yeah,
whatever.
no service.
No
Power's
service. Like you have
out,
to just have to get a text out. knowing that you're not dead or you're good. Anyways, I'm trying to. Oh, also the James Webb Telescope has also found a planet similar to the one I just mentioned, except this one also contains methane and carbon dioxide, and it also has oceans as well.
Little methy meth.
It is 8 times larger than the size of Earth, so it's a.
I can't imagine being on a planet bigger than the planet we already are.
Dude, I've tried, like, because I mean we can't stand on Jupiter because it's just gas, but like imagine.
That's fucking crazy too, dude. The whole thing is just gas.
Yeah, bro, you know, it's a gas giant.
It fucking makes no sense.
It's just gas.
It's the stupidest thing ever.
It's just...
Are you sure there's not like a surface to it?
I don't think there... Let me look. It's called a gas giant.
I need to look this up.
Is Jupiter all gas? Okay, it's mostly gas. Being primarily composed of gas and liquid rather than solid matter. So maybe you could stand... I don't really know what that means that it's a gas giant, though. Is that
Here's a diagram. I'm going to say probably its atmosphere is mostly made up of gas.
They don't know if there's a solid surface.
Well, yeah, you're basically right. Like, it's made up of mostly liquid and gas.
There is... They don't know if there's a solid surface on Jupiter. So, like, what do you do?
It might just be a big jelly.
Like, you just... I don't understand. Like, I don't...
Yeah, it's impossible to get a look on it.
Dude, that's crazy. I love how we know more. Like, dude, I don't even. Space is wild, bro. Space is so like it's crazy.
It is pretty freaking crazy, dude.
It's mind numbing. It really is. It's super cool. It's super terrifying. I think it's more terrifying, to be honest, than anything. But it's still something. I'll tell you that right now. I did see as well that India launched a space shuttle thingy on the other side of the moon, which no one's done yet.
Oh,
so instead of like Greece,
India.
Russia tried.
I saw that. Yeah, they landed on the dark side of the moon.
Yeah, and they thought there could be like cold ice on that side, which would be because water, obviously, you know, ice, water. So that could be. I don't know if they ended up finding that. There was like theories of maybe they could find that, which could lead to possible at some point in time life on the moon, which would be kind of crazy. I don't know. Just any life on anything is just. I don't know. It's just wild to me that maybe there's got to be something out there. There's just no way. I'm sorry, but there's no way.
I would like to believe that there is.
No, I'm not saying like humans. Just like a fish. Just surviving somewhere.
Dude, just something. I don't know, if I saw that there was a fish on, like, Neptune or something, I'd probably not really give a fuck if it's just a fish.
He's just swimming around. I don't know, could you imagine there's just a fish just like, he's just vibing somewhere. Like, this some random ass planet. Just like did you also know that we are, like, 90 plus percent have the same DNA as bananas?
Yeah, dude. I mean, we pretty much have, like, I think pigs is really close.
Mushrooms are, like, 99%.
Yeah, we're closer to mushrooms than we are, like, monkeys.
Like, that is crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I mean, because monkeys, we're also up there, too.
Yeah, they're pretty close.
Yeah, I mean... Oh, I remember last pod I was talking about, like, certain animals... being, or like, you know, like there's like a similarity that we have to like each animal, which is kind of weird. I forgot all about monkeys. They can do sign language.
Yeah, they're fascinating because they like have like they have like structure. They have like political structure in their groups. It's kind of wild.
I want to go.
Monkeys are wild,
dude. Monkeys. I remember there was one that was like almost pretty much fluent in like ASL. I'm pretty sure. Like he was practically fluent.
There was one that a lady had. She had a full-grown male chimp as a pet, and she took its favorite toy from him, and he ripped her face off.
Oh
They had to shoot the monkey. Yeah, they had to put the monkey down because he fucking ravaged this lady's face.
Oh, here's another one that I thought was fascinating from animals. And I've been on my phone a lot this pod because I don't want to spread. Yeah, it's fine. Crows. Did you know that crows remember and recognize human faces, and they will hold grudges on you? They will attack you. They will remember who you are. So
Smart fucking bird, dude.
So
yes.
say you piss off a crow, it will remember your face. It will recognize you, and it will hold a grudge until it comes and attacks you.
That doesn't necessarily surprise me, because there was a video I saw on Twitter one time of this crow that would fly over across the street to a neighbor's house and fuck with this cat, and then he would fly across the street and fuck with the other cat across the street, and he got these cats to hate each other and fuck each other up. And he just sat up in the trees and watched as these cats just fucked each other up so bad, just clawing each other, biting, scratching, screaming at each other. This crow instigated civil war between felines.
It's crazy though. I don't know. Like, I just sat there and realized, I was just like, there's like a similarity we have with every animal, and you just don't even realize it.
Right.
Maybe there's just like, oh, do you also want to hear something really funny as well that I also learned?
Yeah.
Do you know if you ever run into a parrot that you're not supposed to pet its back?
Will it bite you?
No, it becomes horny.
Oh, okay. You don't want that. Yeah, you don't want to.
Like, you can't pet, like, if you like run into like how sometimes like some places they always have like a parrot that you can like talk to or whatever. They don't let you pet its back for that reason. There's also been...
You can't just be breaking up birds. I feel you can't just be breaking them up.
There's also another funny thing too with dolphins. Do you know if
there's some horny ass little...
Oh no, this is not anything to do with horniness, shockingly. There has been found that a horde of dolphins will try to parade a pufferfish. Like, they will like kind of harass it to the point it will release its toxin.
Oh, will they ingest it?
They get high off of it.
Yeah, dude, they're smart little fuckers, dude.
There's been scientists that have realized that the dolphins literally, because dolphins are like the smartest, or one of the smartest creatures. Like, dolphins.
Did you know that the Salem witch trials was because of a bacteria that grew on the crops that they harvested that year?
Yeah.
I forget the name of it. I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Yeah.
But it had it's toxic to humans, but it can also give you psychedelic effects.
Oh, that's why they were like, oh, them pesky women. It's always the women that do it. Salem, the old Salem. I remember learning that in old history back in the day.
Yeah, ergot. Yes, many historians believe that ergot infestation in Massachusetts caused strange activities among some women in 1691 and eventually led to the Salem witch hunt.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
crazy. Dude. So these people were tripping balls on this fungus and didn't even know it and thought everybody was witches and just started killing everybody, dude.
Mostly women too.
Yeah, it was mostly women.
Because obviously.
Yeah. You imagine you were just tripping absolute, because that's all you eat is the wheat and the breads and the grains and the corn.
Even live like that. Like,
everything I think it's whenever there's a late frost that these crops can grow this fungus on it or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, these people were literally geeked out every day, dude. Just blasted off of this fungus, dude. Can you imagine? Every single day you're tripping ball sack.
It probably just got
and
worse,
you think your wife is a witch because you're hallucinating?
Bro, you probably think you're dying. Like, you probably think
you are dead. They probably did, dude. They were probably... That is crazy, dude. Why don't we learn this shit in school?
Because our education system is something else.
Why did we just learn that there was just this random village in Massachusetts that was just literally all mentally retarded and thought that everybody was a witch, and they just tell us how, they were just not smart, apparently. It's like, why don't you just admit that they were tripping balls on this fungus and going nuts? I don't know, dude.
Time to go into more spacey stuff.
Let's run it.
And talk about the first alien hearing in Mexico today. Today, actually. It was today. Did you hear about this so-called hearing that happened?
I didn't hear about it until you brought it up, so I have no idea what was discussed.
Let me give you a synopsis, okay? So here's everything we need to know. I'm getting it straight from Instagram, Puberty, so I'm not stealing your stuff if you come after us. So first off, the doctors, the scientists, I don't know if they said their name. No, I don't know if they said their names or not. If they did, here we go. Journalist Jamie Masson? I don't know. Anyways, here we go. This is everything that they've mentioned. They have pictures. They have a mummified corpse that they show off. It's weird, though, because here's the thing. I'm going to get to it in a second. Anyways, the origin was revealed. They said that the mysterious specimens were discovered in Peru and are believed to be around 1,000 years old. And their DNA, nearly a third of it, we don't understand. We don't understand anything about their DNA structure or anything like that. So that's kind of weird. These beings aren't from a UFO crash, but were found in algae mines and later fossilized as well. And they were actually found in they were debunked in 2015. The claims of these being found. So there's that. I guess there's your little. It looks like they one of them actually could have potentially. Obviously, we don't know half their structure. Contained eggs. Which is weird. But here's the thing.
Whoa.
The picture, I can't really show it because the camera's not going to pick it up. But the problem is, the reason why this is seeming weird is because they look exactly like a cartoon. Like, picture a cartoon. Picture E.T., and that's exactly what they look like.
Try to show me. See if it'll actually pick up.
Oh, I have it on blur. Sorry, it sounds like I'll just throw my phone, but I literally just gently placed it. All right, here we go. No, I don't think it's going to pick it up.
It's just too bright. Yeah.
No, maybe a little bit. Maybe if I get... Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah. Bro, what the fuck?
Yeah, so, here's my thing about this. Is they look just like picture a cartoon, an alien cartoon. That's exactly what it looks like.
Yep, it looks like it's made of clay.
It looks like it's E.T., dude. Like, it
yeah, I was gonna say like a Grogu E.T.
So that's why I'm kind of like... I don't think they're gonna look like that.
Could y'all really try a little harder than just saying, oh, by the way, they look like they're made of rock, so they're fossilized?
So I think it's cap. It's kind of weird, though, because someone also did say, someone here in the comments, is that everyone believed in aliens until the government has brought it up, and now everyone thinks they're fake.
Nobody believes it now, yeah.
Now, since, the government was like, oh, yeah, by the way, and then everyone's like, nah, they messing with us. It's kind of weird how everyone thinks that now. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that's real. I think that's definitely cap. They wouldn't look like that. There's no way we would perfectly be able to make it look like E.T. Unless Steven Spielberg over here literally has seen these aliens back when he was a kid or something. Maybe it was based off a true story. But I don't think that's true.
Maybe the aliens are living amongst us. Among us. Sorry.
Dude, sussy chunky.
Could you imagine that, though? Just like aliens are living among us.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is wild. Shut up, dude. Dude, no way. What if you're an alien? What if I'm an alien? What if you are just... What are you doing? Is this your Halloween joke? What if... Oh my god, dude, a glitch in the Matrix? Couldn't that be crazy? I just glitched out Noah. Noah's been a figment of my imagination. Of my whole time. Isn't that kind of weird to think about? Is I'll never get your point of view on anything. Like your color of red or green won't look like my color of red or green. Isn't that kind of weird? Like I'm never gonna have your point of view on anything.
Colorblindness is weird.
Like it's weird.
It just feels weird not being able to see color
Well, not just that, but like your version of red. Like I say, like obviously this controller is red, but this red may look different to you than what my eyes depict as
I
red.
know, that's pretty crazy to think about.
Because like again, I'm never going to know what you are seeing, and you're never going to know
Right.
what I'm seeing. Like you could literally, this whole thing right now could be a simulation. You couldn't even be real. I couldn't even be real.
Oh my god, I hate thinking about that because it trips me out so bad.
Like when I don't know, maybe whenever I die, just everything around me is just black. What if I'm the main character? No, I'm just messing. I'm the main character. This hasn't been about me.
Fuck
This
you,
whole.
it ain't about you, it ain't about you, dude.
I'm supposed
You
to
wouldn't,
figure
you wouldn't
something.
be the
I'm
one.
the
You
chosen
would
one.
not be the one, dude.
Yeah, they wouldn't have given the chosen one damn half of a missing hand. I'm just a follower. I'm just a toy in this stupid. I don't
They
know.
wouldn't have gave it to any of us, dude.
No, bro. They definitely would have given it to. I was
I
gonna think of
don't
the
know.
most random, like the first, The Rock. The Rock is the chosen one. I've met
He
The
might.
Rock. I'm just messing.
Have you?
No, I haven't. I can't say I have. But I don't know. Maybe this whole thing is a simulation.
That would suck.
That'd be pretty cool.
That would suck when it turns out that we actually don't have like a self-conscious, that we actually are making decisions for ourselves. We're just so plugged into this simulated reality that we always think that our self-conscious is actually just program.
Dude, just think about all that. It's just kind of weird.
That would suck to think about. You know what I'm saying? Like you sit here thinking like you're able to like speak these thoughts that you believe are yours, that you come up with yourself, or if you were to cite somebody else or give your opinion on anything, and then all of a sudden it turns out like, no, this is actually all in real time, like artificially generated through
That's
like
what
a
I'm saying,
simulation.
bro.
That's fucking crazy to
What if
think
this is
about.
awesome? What if what you're saying right now was supposed to be said? Like you were programmed to say.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like everything is just so, we're so plugged in and it's so good that you just can't tell.
Like.
I think maybe
God.
one. I think one. I don't think we're there, but I think people are gonna try to get us there sooner rather than later.
Oh, I mean, we don't
VR
even
is
think
really
about it.
starting to kick off.
It is VR and AI and all that. That stuff's terrifying. VR, dude. VR is gonna be more realistic than real life at some point. Have you seen that Unreal Engine 5, like the water physics?
Pretty crazy, huh?
Like, bro.
That Unreal Engine is wild.
The Unreal
That's what
Engine
Fortnite's
5?
on, isn't it? Fortnite's on the Unreal Engine, isn't it?
I don't think it's Unreal Engine 5, dude. That shit's real
Mhm.
life, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah, it ain't real. And I think those are just like, they're just generating like small things, right?
Yeah.
Like it can't like really produce like, I mean it could produce.
I don't know. Have you seen that one game that like was getting flagged? People thought it was real, like that shooting game, like a body cam game.
Yes.
Yeah, like that was a game. Like that's the
Yeah,
Unreal Engine 5 game.
That is pretty crazy. I just wonder how hard it would be to like actually. I mean, nobody can run the game like that.
Oh no.
Nobody can run a game like that. So why would you even try to put
Dude,
that out?
I could. I'll record it.
You think so?
No. Minecraft is probably the most realistic depiction. Anyways,
Yeah, it is.
here's some rapid fire news that was pretty funny.
Mhm.
Did you see that ex-girlfriend to Elon Musk, Amber Heard? I think we all know who Amber is.
Yeah.
He got her to cosplay as Mercy from
That is fire, dude. That
Overwatch.
is
And not
fire.
only did he admit to that, he even posted a picture of her in the cosplay uniform.
No, he didn't, dude. On Twitter?
He did, bro. He did.
I'm looking at this right now. This is what I need to see in my life.
Dude, he did, bro. I promise you. The man literally
Dude, that is like the craziest thing ever if he
Dude,
did
Elon
that.
is. I'm pretty sure he did. Let me look. I don't know. Let me find the tweet. I don't know which one he responded, except I'm pretty sure he responded to. Let's see. It has to be somewhere where he's mentioning 4 days ago, 3
He
days
may
ago.
have deleted it, unfortunately.
Maybe I need to look up like Elon Musk Amber Heard. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, look, he responded with it. You see how it says Elon Musk up at the top? That's her, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know what I don't know what tweet he responded that with though. I don't know.
I mean, she did it, obviously.
Oh yeah, 100%. He even like
Elon's
responded.
a G, dude. Elon low key just like wanted to bang an Overwatch girl.
Oh wait, am I been on Dexerto? Dexerto. Because he responded, he was like, "I did. It was awesome." Let me see. One of these has to mention. Come on. This is what I need in my life. I need Elon responding.
We should get him on here.
Dude, Elon? Dude, we need to start thinking about who we want to invite on here.
I'd say he'd be a good first guest.
Yeah, let me reach out to him. This guy. How much you want to pay him? 50?
Well, I mean, we'd probably just see if he'd do it for free.
Yeah, I don't think he'd do that. We would probably have to pay him, like, royalties.
I don't think he needs money at this point in his life, do you?
Maybe he wants to do it for free. Just a little channel, 3 subs.
I'll hit him up. I'll shoot him a DM.
Could you imagine? Like, what are they? Could you imagine a man says, "Sure"?
Yeah, I don't even know how that'd be possible, dude.
No, but like, imagine though. Like, we just. You know how fast
I wouldn't even fucking know what to do, dude.
Dude, the pod would be so ass because I don't even know what to ask.
I would get so stoned one night and just write out like 1,000 questions that I need to ask this guy that in my mind feel like
we are done being lied to. Oh, I just moved my whole camera. We are done being lied to as American people, and these are the answers we have. We have asked our audience of what to ask.
It's funny how we could get a list of questions to ask somebody like that we think are intelligent and something that would like actually like stir his brain and like make him think. But it's probably like the most baseline bullshit that he's heard for the last 20 years in any interview ever.
I want to ask him if he's seen aliens.
Yeah, I'll tell you who can't interview worth a dog shit is Nelk.
For real?
I'll be honest with you, bro. Like, I don't think I have a good motto. I stole it from whoever it was. I forget who it was. You know who it was. It was a celebrity of like, if you don't know somebody enough, like if you don't know somebody to have their phone. Oh, there's Tom Holland, right? Yeah. Like if I don't know you, then I don't really have a problem.
Or Ben Affleck told. Is either Ben Affleck told Tom or Christian Bale. It was someone like that told Tom, and then Tom was.
They're cool guys. They're cool guys. I think they're funny, but for them to sit down and like try to translate that like a frat bro seltzer like public prank vibe that they run around with, they fucking suck at interviewing people.
Did they just like interrupt?
No, it isn't more so interrupting. It's just like there's basically no depth to anything that they say.
I feel like I'd be scared to interrupt.
Like, imagine if I sat here. Imagine if you were somebody of importance in, say, the sports world. Say you were an NFL quarterback and you get interviewed all the time and you get offered to come on this podcast. And the only questions that these people offer you are, have you ever been asked a dumb question in the media? Have you ever gotten into a fight with a teammate? Have you ever had an out-of-body experience when you had, like, have you ever had a game-winning drive? Have you ever thrown an interception? Have you ever been tackled really hard? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. You gotta ask more questions than that.
Like, it's so, like, when they interviewed Andrew Schultz, they were asking him they asked him, has anybody ever heckled you in the crowd? And have you ever responded? As if they don't realize that crowd work is one of the keys of developing yourself as a comic. Is you work with the crowd. Like, you build off reactions and you have comebacks and you think of things to say on the fly, and they're like, wow, have you ever actually been mad at somebody? And he was like, yep. Wow, what'd they say? He's like, I don't know. And they're like, what'd you say back? And he's just like, I don't know. They're like, you said something back? And he's like, yeah. And they're like, wow.
Oh my god.
Like, you were mad at that? I was,
You gotta ask questions that they've like hardly heard or something.
they
That
just
can,
don't
like...
do research. They don't do research, and they've admitted that, and it's very obvious when. And I'm not even trying to hate on them. I'm just observing and making an analysis.
As
I'm making an
someone that is
opinion.
just an outsider, just someone that's watching the video.
Yeah, I just remember they were like one of the only people to get Elon on in like a really long time. And I remember just leaving that interview with like
No knowledge at all.
I didn't gain anything from this because all y'all fucking ask him was, has he ever seen a rocket take off? Like, they're like, is one ever exploded? And I'll be like, don't you have like, it's almost like one of those like, don't you have satellites?
No.
Yeah. Tell us about that.
Okay.
Or it's like, don't you have spaceships? What's that like? Or aren't you trying to buy Twitter? What's that like?
Like, come on, bro. You gotta you gotta show that, because obviously they're gonna sniff, especially Elon. He's gonna sniff you out in like fucking 10 seconds if you.
Andrew sniffed him out, dude. Andrew sniffed him out. They called him out for it. He was like, he feels like I'm came here out of the time of my day to do this, and it feels like I'm interviewing you guys.
They're probably like, whoa. Or some stupid like response.
You need to watch some Andrew Schultz pods because this dude is so smart.
I will. For next pod that we do, we'll mention.
Listen to some Flagrant pods because they're funny, but he's also so knowledgeable. And it was almost, yeah, it's almost like you think comedian, like funny, not much to offer, but he's such a brilliant person.
I'm also brilliant in everything I know. Speaking of which, did you see apparently the NFL, rip Aaron, by the way. I know some people they're like, who the frick is Aaron? But it's fine. But apparently the NFL was experimenting with using like webcams on the quarterback's helmets, and they showed one of Tua's.
Oh.
Let me tell you, that looks like the hardest job I've ever seen. Like, it shows like like you're literally in the helmet and what it looks like dissecting defenses and all that. People are like, I need Kyler Murray's, because I don't even know how this man sees over the line if this man too is like 6 foot and he can hardly.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Like Bryce Young or somebody too.
Bryce is 5'10". Or like
Baker's short too, isn't he?
Baker's fairly short. There's a lot of shorter quarterbacks these days. Usually you wanted quarterbacks who are like 6'6".
You have to almost because they gotta see over their big ass line.
That are like 6'7", 350.
You gotta be able to throw over a line too. Like if you can't put a ball down, then
you need to find that video though of Tua. Like, it's only like a minute long, but like Tua,
I'll find it.
Tua dissecting like the defense or whatever, like a point of view, and it's like, it's weird, bro. I'm like, dude, this shit is hard. Also, because Dion. Everybody knows who Primetime is. Shannon Sharp interviewed him, and he was like, because this man Dion has played like 4 different sports.
Right.
He's also had 2 of his toes amputated as well. I don't know if you knew that.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
It's kind of sad because I'll be watching like Colorado, because that's who he is the head coach of nowadays, and he can't walk that well. Like, he has to kind of just like slowly walk, and he has to like wait for everyone to like leave, and then he can finally walk off because it takes him a little longer. But anyways, Shannon Sharp was like talking to him, and he was like, "What's the easiest sport you've ever played?" And Dion was like, "Football. Football's the easiest I've ever played." And Shannon was like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "To get into the mind of a receiver is the easiest thing I've ever done." I was like, "Oh."
Dang.
I was like, "Oh, okay." And he was like, "What's the hardest sport?" And he said, "Baseball. Baseball by a mile." He said, "That's the hardest shit I've ever done in my life." He said, being able to see a baseball, because you have to see a baseball coming at you 100 miles per hour in 400 milliseconds.
Yeah.
For your eyes to be able to tell if you're able to hit this ball or not. 400 milliseconds to react to a 100 mile per hour ball coming at you. He said that's the hardest shit I've ever done in my life. Got a championship ring though with the Braves back in 97, 95.
Braves.
He's got a Super Bowl ring and a baseball ring. Look at Primetime go. Now he's a head coach of Colorado, and his son's a beast.
Didn't he play a football game and a baseball game the same day?
Yeah, Primetime was built different, bro. It's probably why he got 2 of his toes amputated. They were thinking he had to amputate his leg at one point. He's like, "You gotta do what you gotta do." He said, "As long as it takes away the pain, I don't care." It's like, well, it's a good mindset, I guess. Fair enough, then. Well,
I think this is a good stopping point, my friend, because
Of
I'm
course.
having a hard time.
Yeah, this is a shorter one than usual, but we're both exhausted.
How long have we run for?
120.
That's not bad. I'll take that.
As long as it wasn't like 40. I've been like, well, what's
Right,
that?
yeah. That
But also, I don't want to
good.
skew it, like, fill it in with like a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
So-
I didn't want to feel like we were reaching.
Yeah, we want to provide quality content. Also, it's later than we usually, but it's fine. We wanted to get this out for you guys. Of course. Because it's more of
Right.
consistency on our end to, like, be like, oh, we can miss this Friday. Like,
No,
we
get
can't.
your ass on and talk.
We have
That's
2
all you
weeks.
gotta do. We're
We
just
have-
talking.
We literally have 2 weeks. There is actually no excuse for us to be like, can't do it this week.
Right. Oh my god, our 3rd week on our podcast. I'm just burnt out. Fuck you. Get on the pod.
Like,
Talk.
get
All we
on,
gotta do is talk. All we really gotta do is sit here and talk to each other. Like,
for
jeez.
we've literally done this for 50 years. Like, this shit's easy.
I know, dude.
Now it's like
Crazy
finding
work.
knowledgeable stuff though is like, or like entertaining stuff to like go on along about is kind of hard. But like,
Yeah.
sometimes we just talk. But I mean, that's just what it is. But
Yeah, a lot of
hopefully,
times everything just comes naturally.
hopefully you guys enjoyed the sciencey pod. This is probably our first like kind of directed at a certain
Yeah,
topic.
yeah. I agree.
The first two were
yeah.
kind of like, you know, we sporadically were just like talking. But this one we
Yes.
kind of stayed within the sciencey realm. So I don't know. Maybe that'll see
Liked
more
it.
of it.
I liked it a lot, actually.
Maybe you don't. Maybe you want to see more stuff of us just specifically talking about one little niche than just like a bunch of sporadic just topics. I don't know if you make it this far. Obviously, you enjoyed something. Anyways, if you're listening to on Spotify, YouTube, follow, go support the other channel, whichever one you're looking at. We're sponsored by Raid Shadow Legend. No, I'm just messing.
We are.
Thank you all for watching as always. We'll see you. We'll see you in. I don't even know what.
See you on the next podcast.
Pod number
Flash
4
stream
pods
over.
already. That's crazy. Coming up on 4.
Pretty wild.
Our next one we record will be 4. Well, all right. Thank you all for watching as always. That's Nog. I'm Bog. We'll see you all in the next one. Bye, guys. I love you.